Thank you very much for coming today. My name is Chris Miller, and I represent the 110th District, which is right along the Wabash River. And I know that I'm a farmer by profession, and I know that as a farmer that we grow things, we solve problems, and we fix things that are broken. And there's one thing that we do annually is we do maintenance. We do maintenance on our equipment to make sure it runs properly. And from my understanding, it's been almost 10 years since we've had a capital bill to address the annual needs of the state, and what could have been a small problem has become this big monster. I think it's important to understand history to see where we've been so we know clearly where we are going so we don't repeat the same mistakes of the past. And I know in 2011 we were told by bureaucrats that if we just raise taxes that it's going to fix everything, there's going to be plenty of money. And one thing that we saw as we raised taxes, we took $3.6 billion out of private citizens' hands and put it in the hands of bureaucrats. And the purpose was not to expand program. It was not to brand new programs. It was only to pay old bills and deal with structural deficits. And we know by history what has happened. We can see very clearly. Again, in 2017, they said if we just raise taxes 32%, everything's going to be great. Well, I know that in my district, in the 110th, that they took almost $60 million out of the citizens of the 110th district. And as far as I can tell, the roads are still in bad repair, the bridges are bad, the infrastructure is awful. And one thing that I've been surprised being over here in Springfield for a brief time is the lack of simple understanding of simple math and simple economics by the people that have been here long enough that they should understand that. And what we have here in Illinois, when we ask the taxpayers to give more money and everything's going to be great, they're going to look at what's happened in history, and they're going to give us the old hairy eyeball because they know that this isn't, once again, going to fix a problem. But I've been accused of being negative all the time, and what I want to do is give you some good news that it is possible for state government to be responsible with the money we send them. But the first thing that happens is everything rises and falls in leadership. And leadership has to take the lead in reforming pensions. We have an unsustainable pension liability. You cannot pay $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, 2,500% on an investment and have the math ever work. And until we address that problem, the fiscal problems of the state of Illinois will not go away. There are 55 reform-minded people that have refused to take the pension because they know that that's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Another thing that we need to do in regard to leadership is we need to lead the charge for term limits. We need to lead the charge for workmen's compensation reform. We need to cap real estate tax at 1%. We need to be prioritizing funding. If it's worth having, then we need to fund it. And there's no need for this huge expansion of taxes upon the citizens of the state of Illinois. The lobbyists need to be gone. The bought and paid for politicians and the dark money needs to end. Fair maps need to be drawn. And if we pursue and push those types of reform, then eventually the state of Illinois will get on solid footing. And right now, what we're facing is a massive capital bill that's going to take more money out of the citizens of the state of Illinois. President Trump is calling for a $2 trillion infrastructure plan that could bring potentially $400 billion into the state of Illinois. And if we have that kind of money, we can fix everything that is broken right now. The governor's plan is peanuts compared to what Donald J. Trump has proposed for the citizens of Illinois. The governor and the leaders in the House and the Senate should put their bipartisan difference apart and work together with the White House to get federal infrastructure, the federal infrastructure plan passed and implemented. Thank you.